My mother did not raise her voice when she told my 13-year-old daughter where to eat. She just pointed toward the kitchen sink where a single plate had already been waiting before we arrived. Olivia still had the apron tied around her waist. Liam's children were seated at the table in new clothes, laughing with the adults, while my daughter stood there holding a serving spoon like she had been hired for the afternoon. I took off the apron, took her hand, and walked out without giving my family the argument they expected. For 6 months, none of them apologized. Then my niece Ava sent Olivia one message. And the moment I read it, I understood why my brother had suddenly become desperate for my help. Thanksgiving at my parents' house always looked perfect from the driveway. White lights on the porch, pumpkins by the steps, my mother's best dishes already shining through the dining room window. Olivia squeezed my hand and whispered, "Do you think Grandma made the sweet potatoes?" I told her yes. The moment we walked in, Charlotte hugged Liam's children first. Ava got a new burgundy dress. Oliver got a football signed by a local player. Then my mother turned to Olivia, handed her a folded white apron, and said, "You can help me today." Olivia smiled because she thought helping meant belonging. I carried pies into the kitchen while Amelia praised Ava's dress. When I came back, Olivia was arranging rolls, filling water glasses, and carrying serving bowls heavier than they looked. I asked if she needed help. Charlotte answered for her. "She's fine, Harper. It's good for girls to learn how a family meal runs." At the table, every place had a name card. Charlotte, Theodore, Liam, Amelia, Ava, Oliver. Mine sat near the end. Olivia's name was nowhere. I assumed someone had forgotten it, but my father kept glancing toward the garage door instead of looking at me. That should have warned me. Olivia served the first course while everyone else sat. Amelia asked her to refill tea before taking her own plate. Liam kept talking about work as if nothing unusual was happening. Ava watched Olivia move around the table with a guilty expression. Oliver did not ask why his cousin was still standing. They already knew. Chapter 6. When Olivia finally carried the empty serving dish back to the kitchen, she found a plate waiting beside the sink. A little turkey, a spoonful of potatoes. No placemat, no chair. She looked at it for several seconds, then turned toward the dining room. I saw confusion on her face, but not surprise. There was one empty chair near me. Olivia reached for the back of it. Charlotte stepped close enough that only we could hear her. "Helpers don't eat with guests," she said. "Real grandkids eat first." Olivia's hand dropped from the chair. Nobody else stopped talking. My mother had planned the insult to be quiet. I untied the apron from Olivia's waist and laid it across the empty chair. Charlotte's face tightened. "Don't make a scene," she whispered. I did not argue. I did not ask Liam why he stayed seated or why Theodore suddenly found his napkin fascinating. I took my daughter's hand and walked out. Olivia stayed silent until we reached the car. Then she said, "I'm sorry I didn't finish cleaning." I turned to her. "Why would you think you had to?" She stared at her hands and said, "Grandma always got upset when she left before the kitchen was done." That was the first crack in the story I thought I knew. By the time we reached home, Charlotte had already called 3 relatives. Her version was simple. Olivia refused one small chore, became disrespectful, and stormed out. Theodore sent me a single text. "Your mother was stressed." I showed it to Olivia. She looked at the screen and quietly said, "Mom, this wasn't the first time." That night, Olivia finally told me what had been happening. At past family dinners, Charlotte made her clear plates, wipe counters, and watch Oliver while the adults talked. My daughter had thought it was normal. Worse, she thought telling me would make me lose my family. She knew where Grandma kept the serving trays, trash bags, and cleaning spray because she had used them all before. Once, Charlotte made her give Ava a birthday gift Olivia had opened first. "Grandma said Ava would appreciate it more," she whispered. I had never known. Ava had tried to defend her once. She asked why Olivia always had to clean while everyone else played. Charlotte sent Ava upstairs without dessert and warned her that ungrateful girls lose privileges. After that, Ava stopped speaking up. Her silence at Thanksgiving had not been cruelty. It had been fear. The next morning, I called Charlotte. I told her Olivia would not visit without me again. My mother did not apologize. Instead, she said, "After everything we've done for you, this is how you repay us?" That was when I understood she believed Olivia owed her something. Liam called before lunch. He accused me of turning Olivia against her grandparents and punishing his children over one misunderstanding. When I mentioned the apron, he did not sound surprised. He only said, "Mom has her ways." That sentence told me he had known far more than he admitted. Theodore called 2 days later. He said he did not agree with how Charlotte handled dinner, but he did not want to take sides. "You were sitting right there," I told him. He went quiet. Then he said, "Some battles aren't worth tearing a family apart." He meant mine. I stopped explaining myself to relatives. Olivia and I built new traditions instead: Saturday breakfasts, movie nights, and dinners where she chose whether she wanted to help. Within weeks, she became lighter. She stopped asking whether Grandma was angry. That was how I learned distance could feel safer than forgiveness. 5 months passed without a single apology. Then Amelia started calling every day. Her voice was suddenly warm, almost careful. She asked about work, school, even Olivia's soccer practices. After the fourth call, she mentioned she had accepted a demanding new job. The details changed each time. 2 days later, Liam made the real request. He wanted me to collect Ava and Oliver from school, supervise homework, prepare dinner, and keep them until evening. "Just 2 weeks," he promised. Then he added, "Mom already told the kids you'd do it." Charlotte had volunteered my time without asking. I said no. Liam's voice hardened immediately. "So you're willing to hurt innocent children just to punish Mom?" Before I could answer, Olivia's phone buzzed beside me. The message was from Ava. It said, "Please don't tell Grandma I contacted you. I need to tell you what's happening here." Ava's message came in pieces. She said that after Thanksgiving, Charlotte began making her cook simple dinners, clean the kitchen, and watch Oliver while the adults left. Then came the line Olivia read twice. "Grandma said every family needs one girl who knows her place." Olivia looked at me, stunned. "So, it was never just me?" Ava apologized for staying quiet at Thanksgiving. She admitted Charlotte had told both children Olivia was coming as Grandma's helper. They had known there would be no chair. They had also known what happened to children who objected. Ava's confession changed the entire story. Charlotte had not reacted badly in the moment. She had planned Olivia's place before we arrived. The apron, the plate by the sink, the missing chair. None of it was accidental. Once Olivia left, Charlotte simply chose another girl to fill the role. I asked Ava why Liam suddenly needed me every weekday. She said her parents had appointments they were not allowed to miss. Amelia had told the children to call them work meetings, but Ava had seen the folder on the kitchen counter. The label read, "Mandatory Parent Participation Plan." The next morning, I called the school without asking for private information. I only asked about public aftercare options and transportation assistance. The coordinator mentioned repeated missed pickups and attendance concerns in Ava and Oliver's grade levels. She could not confirm names. She did not need to. Amelia called again that afternoon. This time, her new job started at 8. The day before, she had said 10. When I asked the company name, she hesitated and gave me one that had no Franklin office. Her lie was not sophisticated. It had only survived because everyone expected me not to question family. I called Liam and asked directly whether the school had required parenting sessions. He became angry before I finished the sentence. "Who told you that?" Not denial. Confirmation. He said the school was overreacting to a few missed assignments and transportation problems. Then he asked again when I could start watching the children. I told him I would help find a legitimate program, but I would not become their unpaid weekday parent. Liam laughed bitterly. "You always make everything sound like a boundary." "No," I said. "You make every favor sound temporary until someone tries to stop." He ended the call without discussing a single paid option. That evening, Ava sent Olivia a photograph. She stood at Charlotte's stove stirring pasta while Oliver completed homework behind her. A handwritten list was taped to the cabinet: dinner, dishes, laundry, Oliver's backpack. Ava was 12. Charlotte had not lost her helper. She had replaced her. Then Ava sent one final message. Grandma keeps saying Aunt Harper will take over soon because Olivia owes this family. Dad says she's right. I read it without speaking. Liam had known about Olivia's treatment all along, and now I understood the real reason he wanted me back. He did not need childcare for 2 weeks. He needed someone to keep Charlotte's system running. Theodore came to my house alone 3 days later. He looked older than he had at Thanksgiving. I need to tell you the truth, he said. I let him in, but I did not offer coffee. Some conversations should not be made comfortable. He admitted Charlotte removed Olivia's chair before dinner. Worse, Theodore had carried it into the garage himself. She said Olivia would be helping, he muttered. You knew there was no seat for her. He lowered his eyes. Yes. That ended his claim of neutrality. Then he explained Charlotte's reasoning. Years earlier, my parents had occasionally watched Olivia after school. Charlotte had decided those favors created a debt. She thought helping at gatherings was repayment, Theodore said. My daughter had been treated like labor because my mother believed kindness came with interest. I opened an old calendar and counted. The rides I had given my parents, the errands, holiday cooking, medical appointments, and weekends, I watched Liam's children added up quickly. Charlotte had not supported me more than I supported her. She had simply kept a different ledger. Theodore asked whether I would forgive him. I told him forgiveness was not the first question. Why did keeping Mom calm matter more than protecting Olivia? He had no answer. I said future visits would happen separately, slowly, and only if Olivia wanted them. He accepted that. Charlotte called that evening. Her voice sounded tired instead of angry. She said Ava and Oliver needed stability. Liam was overwhelmed, and families were supposed to step in. She never mentioned Thanksgiving. She never said Olivia's name. Her apology was not missing. She had never planned one. The children need their aunt, Charlotte said. No, I replied. You need someone to replace you. Silence filled the line. Then she admitted she was cooking, cleaning, managing homework, and handling every pickup. Liam had turned her into the unpaid parent she expected me to become. I contacted the school's aftercare program, a transportation service, and 2 licensed sitters. I gathered prices, schedules, and application forms. There were real options. They just cost money and required Liam and Amelia to reorganize their lives. I sent everything in one email. Liam rejected the first program because pickup ended too early. He rejected the sitter as too expensive. He rejected transportation because Amelia would have to adjust her appointments. Every solution failed for the same reason. None of them allowed the adults to avoid responsibility for free. Then Liam demanded a family meeting at Charlotte's house. He said everyone needed to hear how I was dividing the family. Olivia surprised me by asking to come. When we arrived, Ava was already seated beside her, and on the table between them lay the same white apron from Thanksgiving. Liam opened the meeting by accusing me of abandoning Ava and Oliver. Charlotte nodded beside him. Before I answered, Olivia picked up the white apron and placed it in front of my mother. You all knew what this meant, she said. You just liked who had to wear it. Charlotte called Olivia dramatic. Ava spoke before anyone else could. She made me wear it after Olivia stopped coming. The room changed. Ava described the cooking lists, missed pickups, and evenings spent supervising Oliver. Charlotte tried to interrupt. Ava kept talking. Liam claimed he had never known. Olivia looked directly at him. You didn't even ask why I had no chair. Then Ava said, Dad knew Grandma called me the new helper. Liam's face tightened. His denial had lasted less than a minute. Theodore finally stood. I moved Olivia's chair, he said. Charlotte turned toward him in disbelief. He admitted the missing place had been planned before dinner, and that everyone had been told Olivia would serve. No one could call Thanksgiving a misunderstanding anymore. Charlotte blamed stress, tradition, and everything she had done for the family. I let her finish. Then I said, "You did not help children. You assigned girls to serve whoever made your life easier." She stared at me. For once, she had no quieter version of the story. I placed the aftercare applications and sitter information on the table. "These are your options," I told Liam. He complained about the cost. Amelia complained about schedules. I reminded them that inconvenience was not neglect, and payment was not punishment. Their children needed parents, not another unpaid woman. Ava and Oliver entered the school program the following week. Liam adjusted his work hours. Amelia attended every required session. Charlotte stopped handling their daily routine because the school required approved pickup arrangements. The family did not collapse. The adults simply began doing the work they had assigned to children. Theodore started meeting Olivia and me for breakfast once a month. He never asked her to forgive him quickly. Charlotte was not invited. She sent messages about family unity, but none included a direct apology. I stopped answering statements that demanded reconciliation without accountability. Ava and Olivia rebuilt their relationship carefully. They studied together, traded messages, and spent time at my house without the adults controlling the room. One evening, Ava offered to clear the table. Olivia helped her. Both girls sat down again before dessert. Neither asked permission. 6 months after Thanksgiving, I served dinner in our own home. Olivia carried one dish because she chose to. When she finished, I pulled out the chair beside mine. "In this house," I told her, "helping never costs you your place." Olivia sat first.